All right, we are using a new platform to go live, and so I am doing my best here to we're gonna try this out, and I'm excited to do this because today we're doing something new. Today we are exploring a ritual for all of us, and this ritual that we are doing today is going to be a ritual that helps ground us to humanity and to connection with each other. And this ritual that we're doing, you just need something to eat and something to drink, right? I've got my food here, and I hope that you'll join me in this ritual together that we are doing. Just grab something to eat, something to drink, and we will participate together in this ritual for humanity. Rituals are important. This is not a particularly a ritual that is particular to any religion. This ritual is to help ground you to the divine, to the universe, to God, whatever you want to say, however you want to call it. And you're just going to need something to eat. You're just going to need a drink. And it's not going to take very long, maybe 5 minutes or so, and we will be doing this together. So the important thing to say in this ritual is that everybody's welcome here. This is a sort of a dinner table because all are connected. The same way that we are connected around a dinner table, we are connected here. We are all dust. We are all earth. We are all stardust, all made up of everything that ever was and everything that ever will be. We're all connected. As we consume the food that is created from the very ground that we walk on, from the dirt our bodies will one day become, and then as we consume the drink that is made of the same elements that we are made of, so much of us is water. And even as we are connected, even as we know we are connected to the dirt of the ground that we will become, and all of the elements in the universe of which we are made, even as we are connected, we know that we use our lives and our choices. And we divide, we separate, we wound, we violate the connection between us and each other, us and the world, us and the earth. And though it doesn't undo what we have done, right now, I want to invite you to speak aloud or say in your heart the offenses that you have made against others, against yourself, against the earth. I invite you right now to speak that aloud, to say it to your heart. What are the ways in which you have hurt or wounded other people, hurt or wounded yourself, hurt or wounded the earth from which you came and from to which you will go? As we confess those things, we are coming clean to the universe, to God, to ourselves, and to each other. Throughout human history, and every time, and in every place, in every religious stream, people have created rituals around the act of eating. So whether it's a cake and ale ceremony, Passover feast, the iftar, communion, Holi, really all time, all space, all religion, when we eat, we are consuming the food and drinks that are made from the very earth that we have come from and the very earth that we will one day become. And these feast meals, they connect us to that earth and to each other. And so today, right now, right where you are, I want to invite you to get something to eat, to get a drink, and we're going to engage in this holy act. An act that unites us instead of divides us, that sort of echoes and embodies this mystical connection. Tonight, we're sitting at a table together, right? You're not sitting at my actual table, but we are sitting at this mystical table. Our tables are connected to all the tables everywhere because we are all one. Because we are all made of the same stuff. We are all stardust from exploded stars that have scattered themselves all across the universe. All of those elements that have combined to be us, we are all connected. And so tonight, our tables are connected. When we take the food, and I invite you to take a little bit of food. I'm just going to get a little bite for myself. When we take the food, we're going to remember how our flesh is holy. We remember how touching another person creates a sacred bond, how a hug or a kiss intertwines our soul with another. And I invite you to now just take this bite of the food, this way that we are connected to each other, reminded of our flesh and how it connects us to the earth. And then you're going to take this drink, whatever you've got. I've got some wine, maybe you've got some water, whatever you have around. But when we swallow this drink, we are connected. We are connected with the water that falls from the sky and brings life to the land that grows the food that we just ate. We remember the nurturing connection that water and liquid gives us to the water of the womb in which we all came to be. And as we swallow this drink, we hear its call to be that nurturing force in our world and in our relationship with each other and the earth. So I want to invite you, remembering all of that, to take a drink. As we consume this meal, we allow ourselves to see and experience our connection with the divine, with God, with the universe, with each other, our connection with the earth itself. And tonight, we commit to furthering that connection in our world. May we be people who stay connected, who unite instead of divide. And that's the end of our ritual. If you just joined us, we're going to do it again. We're doing it over and over as people show up. All you have to do is grab something to eat and grab something to drink. And we are doing this ritual that grounds us to, as humans, grounds us to each other in our relationships with each other and our relationships with the earth itself. And this ritual, it's not any particular religion, but it is spiritual. It's spiritual in the deepest sense of the word because everyone, everywhere, all spiritual traditions use food as part of their holy acts. And so tonight we want to engage in this holy grounding act together. So we're at a table, and it's a dinner table. It's a feast table. We have the food and the drink in front of us, and everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome because everyone is connected. To think that we aren't connected is just to live in a fiction, because we're all dust. We are all the earth. We're all stardust, right? All of the elements that are in us come from exploding stars billions of years ago. We are all made up of everything that ever was and everything that ever will be. And we're all connected. As we consume the food that is created from the very ground we walk on, is nourished by, and we take a drink that is the nourishment of the water that falls from the sky. We are created from this food comes from the very ground we walk on, from the dirt our bodies will one day become. So we're connected. This ritual reminds us of that connection, grounds us in that connection. And yet, even though we are connected, there's nothing we can do about that connection, nothing we can do to make ourselves not connected. We also know that we use our lives and our choices to divide ourselves from other people, to separate. Like we wound, we violate that connection. And though it doesn't undo what we've done, right now, in the midst of this ritual, I want to invite you to speak aloud or in your heart your offenses against other people, your offenses against yourself, your offenses against the earth. I invite you to confess the way you've wounded other people, the way you have wounded yourself, the way you have wounded the earth. So in this confession, we come clean to the universe, to God, to ourselves. We come clean to each other. So here's the thing. Throughout human history, like in every time, in every place, in every religious stream, people have created rituals like this around the act of eating. So like whether it's a cake and ale ceremony, a Passover feast, the Iftar, communion, Holi, whatever, everywhere, in every place, in every religion, the act of sharing food together is made holy in these rituals. It's made holy because there's something sacred, something connecting about sitting around the table. When we eat, we are consuming the food and drinks that are made from the very earth from which we come and to which we will all go, and everything that we will ultimately one day become. So today, tonight, wherever you are in the world, the sun is up or the sun is down, we're going to engage in this holy act together, an act that unites us instead of divides us, an act that echoes and embodies mystical connection. Like we're sitting at a table right now, and I'm at this table, you're at whatever is making your table wherever you are, and though our tables are not the same table, they are. These rituals, these food rituals, recognize that there is a connection in all of the food to all of the other food, and it means that our tables are connected everywhere. Your table is connected to all the tables everywhere because we are all one. And so, in just a minute, when we take the food, we're going to remember how our flesh is holy. We're going to remember how touching another person creates a sacred bond, how a hug or a kiss intertwines our souls with another person. And so I want to invite you to take a bit of this food and eat it. Eat it with that remembrance of how the food connects us to each other and to the earth itself. And then I want you to take the drink. And when we swallow the drink, We're connected with the water that falls from the sky and brings life to the land. And when we swallow the drink, we remember this connection to water. We remember its nurturing connection to the water of the womb in which we all came to be. When we swallow the drink, we hear its call to be that nurturing force in our world and in our relationship with each other and the earth. So I invite you, as you think of all of those things, to take a drink. As we consume this meal, we're going to allow ourselves now to see and experience the connection with the divine, the connection with God, with the universe. We're going to see our connection with each other, our connection with the earth itself. And tonight, or today, wherever you are, we're going to commit to furthering connection in our world over division, to leaning into being united, because we know that we all came from the earth. We all came out of the dirt. And one day, we will all become dirt once again. May we be a people of connection. So we're doing this ritual together, and we're doing it over and over. So if you just joined us in the middle of it, that's fine. All you're going to need to do is get something to drink. I've got some wine here and something to eat. I've got a salad. And we're going to do this ritual. So throughout history, there have been rituals, sacred embodiments of reality that take symbols from our everyday life and cause us to connect with each other. That's what a ritual does. And this is a grounding ritual, a ritual that grounds us in our connection to each other and our connection to the earth, to the universe, to God. And so I just want to invite you into this space tonight. And I want to just say, everyone's welcome here. It doesn't matter if you believe in God or not, if you love Jesus or Buddha, or if you call to the corners or whatever you do, you're welcome tonight at this table. We're at a dinner table, and you're welcome at this dinner table because all are connected here. We're all connected because here's the wild thing. We are all dust. We are all dirt. All of the elements in us came from the earth itself. We're all dirt. We're all earth. We are, in fact, all stardust. Like all of the elements that exist in our planet comes from exploded stars billions of years ago. We're connected because we are all made up of everything that ever was and everything that ever will be. And we are now, tonight, connected as we consume the food that is created from the very ground we walk on, from the dirt our bodies will one day become, the drink that comes from the water that falls from the sky. And even as we are connected, we are sitting at this table together, we know that we use our lives and our choices to divide. Like we separate, we wound, we violate that connection. And though it doesn't undo what has been done, I want to invite you right now to speak aloud or to sort of say in your heart your offenses against each other, against yourself, against the earth? I want to invite you to say that aloud or in your heart. Like, how have you wounded other people today? How have you wounded yourself today? How have you wounded the earth today? In this moment, we're confessing. We're coming clean to the universe or God. We're coming clean to ourselves. We're coming clean to each other. You know, throughout human history, like in every time and every place, like every religious stream, people have created rituals around the act of eating. Like whether it's a cake and ale ceremony, a Passover feast, the iftar, communion, holy, like all of the rituals, right? The act of sharing food together is made holy because there's something sacred and connecting about sitting around a table together. Like when we eat, we're consuming the food and the drinks that are made from the very earth from which we come and the earth we will become. And so today, like right now, whether the sun is up where you are or down where you are, we're going to engage in this holy act of eating together. It's an act that unites us instead of dividing us. It's this act that sort of echoes this mystical connection. Like as we sit at this table, it's connected to all the other tables because our food is connected to all the other food because everything is connected. And so, we've lost it. Sorry about that. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty there. When we take the food, we engage in this holy act that unites instead of divides us, that echoes and embodies this mystical connection. We sit at this table knowing it's connected to all the tables everywhere because we are one. So when we take the food, I hope you've got some food there. We remember how our flesh is holy. We remember how touching another person creates this like bond. We remember as we take this food, how a hug or a kiss intertwines our soul with one another. So I just want to invite you to take a little bit of whatever food you have. And as you focus on those things, on that connection, take the food, this holy act. And then we're going to have this drink. Maybe you've got water. I've got a little bit of wine. When we swallow the drink, we're connected with the water that falls from the sky and brings life to the land. When we swallow the drink, we're going to remember its nurturing connection to the water of the womb in which we all came to be. When we swallow the drink, we're going to hear its call to be that same nurturing force in our world and in our relationships with each other and in our relationships with the earth. And so focusing on those things, I want to invite you to take a drink. So as we consume this meal together, we're going to allow ourselves to see and experience our connection with the divine, with God, like with the universe, to see our connection with each other, with the earth itself, and commit to furthering that connection in our world. May we be people that connect instead of divide, that nurture instead of taking away. All right, we're doing this ritual together. It's not particular religion. It builds on the traditions of really all religions, and it uses food and drink. So I hope you'll grab something to eat, something to drink as we do this together. It doesn't take very long, but it's a grounding ritual that helps us ground ourselves in our connection with each other and with the earth and with the divine, with the universe. And as we start, I just want to say, everybody's welcome here. Everybody's welcome here at this dinner table because we are all connected here. We're connected because we're all dust. We are all earth. We are all stardust, right? We are made up of everything that ever was and ever is. The elements that are in our body come from exploded stars billions and billions of years ago. We are, like it or not, connected to each other, to everyone. And as we consume the food that sort of is created from the ground that we walk on, from the ground that one day we will become, when we consume the food, we are also connected through the food to the earth and through the earth to each other. And yet, in the midst of all of this talk of connection, even as we focus on the fact that we are connected, we also know that we use our lives and our choices to divide. We separate, we wound, we violate the connection that exists between us and ourselves, between us and other people, between us and the earth. And though it doesn't undo what's been done, I want to invite you to speak aloud or say in your heart those offenses, the offenses that you've made today, maybe this week, against other people, against yourself, against the earth. Speak aloud the way that you have wounded other people. Say in your heart the way that you have wounded yourself. Say in your heart the way that you have wounded the earth. So in confessing all of this, we're coming clean to the universe. We're coming clean to God, to ourselves, to each other. Hoping that we might be grounded, we might find healing. So throughout human history, in every time, every place, everywhere, every religion, people have created rituals around the act of eating. Whether it's a cake and ale ceremony, Passover feast, the Iftar, communion, Holi, there's feasting, there's food in the center of all kinds of religious rituals and all kinds of religion. It's because in those moments, the act of sharing food together, it's made holy because there's something sacred and connected about sitting around the table. When we eat, we're consuming the food and drinks that are made from the very earth that we come from and the earth that we will become. So today or tonight, wherever you are in the world, right now, we're going to engage in that holy act, an act that unites us instead of divides us, an act that echoes and embodies this sort of mystical connection. We're gonna sit at this table. I'm sitting here at my table. You're sitting at your table, and we're realizing though that our tables are connected from our food, because our food comes from the same earth, from the same elements, from the same stardust. And so, though we might be separated by thousands of miles, our tables are connected through this food everywhere because we are all one. So, in just a minute, when you take the food, I've got some salad here. I'm going to remember, we're going to remember how our flesh is holy, how touching another person creates this sacred bond when our skin connects, the physicalness. We're going to remember how a hug or a kiss can intertwine our soul with another person. So I want to invite you now to take a little bit of that food and with all of that in focus, with all of that in the front of your mind, eat. Eat and remember you are connected. And now, I want you to take the drink. I've got some wine here. Maybe you've got some water or cola, some tea. When we swallow the drink, we are connected with the water that falls from the sky and brings life to the land that grows the food and the grapes. When we swallow the drink, we remember its nurturing connection to the water of the womb in which we all came to be. When we swallow the drink, we're going to hear its call to be that nurturing force in our world, in our relationships with each other, and in our relationship with the earth. And so with all of that in the front of your mind, take a drink. So as we consume this meal, this feast together, we're going to allow ourselves to experience the connection with the divine, the universe, the connection with each other, with ourselves, with the connection with the earth itself. And we want to commit to furthering that connection in our world. May we be a people of connection, not division. May we be a people that nurture beautiful and loving and merciful and peaceful things. Thanks so much for joining me today.